My name's Joanna Macaluso, and this is
Zach Viverito.
And we're reviewing the digital field trip to the desert. The ways of using this program in the classroom is to show different environments and how they function, also what elements make up that habitat. It is also used to identify facts and information about a particular environment and the plants and animals that it contains.
From the main menu, you can access all of the features in the Digital Field Trip Desert. The first feature we're going to visit is the Field Trip tool. Through here, you can access various deserts, but because this is the trial version, only one is available. By clicking and dragging on the picture of the selected desert, you can move the camera around to get a complete 360-degree view. The Field Notes section gives you information about the selected desert. By clicking on the blue words, it brings your attention to different objects of the 360-degree picture.
Another option of the main menu is Desert Types. This describes how deserts are classified. There is also an option that describes what a desert is and explains desert characteristics, aridity, and the importance of deserts. Going back to desert types, there's deserts of the world. Within the desert types, it gives a map of northern Africa with various deserts there. Students may also discover facts, information, and pictures about the deserts.
From the main screen, you can access Desert Study. From here, you can branch off into 4 different areas: homeostasis, adaptations, organisms, and build a desert. By clicking homeostasis, you're brought to a screen which gives helpful information on desert homeostasis. By clicking on the back arrow, you can then explore adaptations of plants and animals, each of which gives insightful information on various topics. In each topic, you are able to zoom in on the pictures provided to obtain a better visual understanding. By going back to the Desert Study page, you can access the Organisms tab, which allows you to view cacti, herbivorous mammals, and carnivorous birds. By clicking on the Carnivorous Birds tab, you can access one of 5 different birds. Upon accessing it, there's information on the right provided, such as introduction to the animal and its adaptation, as well as 5 pictures. By clicking on the Build a Desert profile, you access the expression and active engagement portion of Digital Field Trip Desert. By going back all the way to the Desert Studies screen, you can then access Build a Desert, which gives a tutorial only because this is the trial version.
Welcome to the demo of the Build a Desert game. This game provides a fun way of exploring balance in a desert ecosystem. Deserts contain a variety of plants and animals that interact to create a balanced ecosystem. Students can learn how to balance an ecosystem by experimenting with different combinations of desert species. They must be conscious of what each organism needs, what each organism provides, and of the overall condition of the desert ecosystem. The goal is to create an ecosystem with as many different organisms as possible, with optimal use of the scarce water, habitat, and food resources.
By clicking on Impact on the Desert, you are brought to an introduction page and yet another active engagement tool. You can see the effects that human activity, natural resources, and agriculture have on the land. The only option available to us now is the nomadic pastoralism. Upon clicking on the tab, you get a visual example of the impact it has on the land.
Another option in the main menu is the impact humans have on the desert. Here it explains what humans have either contributed to the functioning of a desert or the negative aspects that have affected the desert. From the main menu, there is an option to learn about the mechanisms of the desert. This option gives you information about the processes and functions that occur in the desert. Within a desert's mechanisms, one can gain knowledge of the influences climate can have on the desert and landscape formation that can often be seen in a desert environment. By clicking on Climate Influences, one can learn about a desert's climate in more depth by the information given about high pressure zones, continental interiors, rain shadows, and cold ocean currents, but these options are locked since this is only the demo version. One can then also take a quiz about climate influences, but this option is also locked. Going back to the mechanisms menu, we can also click on landscape formation, and one can read about what makes up a desert's landscape formation given in the introduction, also about landforms, mechanisms of landscape formation, and rocks and minerals. For further information regarding landscape formation, one can click on the other options that include rocks and minerals, water, wind, weathering, and then one can test their knowledge on the new information by taking the landform quiz. By clicking the rocks and minerals option, one can learn more about minerals, rocks, specifically sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous, and landscape formation. Another option under mechanisms is water availability. But this is locked due to the fact that this is only a demo program. Building a desert can be a form of presentation because students get to make their own desert by showing what animals need, like the necessary amount of food and water. It can also be a form of expression because students choose an animal they know the best and make up a desert environment. And it can also be an active engagement activity because students get to be involved in the material, and the actual process of designing a desert can be very successful in the learning process.
This is a good tool because it gives students an opportunity to view different parts of the world without actually having to go there or leave the classroom. Its relative advantage gives students the opportunity to see things that they may not have had the opportunity to see in real life. It gives definitions and facts about desert environment. Maps show the many elements of this program to make it easier to navigate. The problem this program solves is the fact that it is too expensive and unsafe to take an actual field trip to the desert. Using Digital Field Trip to the desert, you can experience various environments and habitats without actually having to go there.
This is a good solution because it is both inexpensive and safe for students. Also, no permission has to be given by a parent. This tool can be very beneficial to a student's learning experience.